Good morning, everybody. It's Saturday. Oh, we slept in today. Felt really good to do. Don't get to do that much. Um, I thought I'd give everybody a little bit of an update. I'm going to do a shout out, and then we're going to go through two lists. So, be right back after this intro. Alrighty, so we got through that intro. Um, Basically, the topic was brought up on the AMC show, and I'm sure a lot of you guys have probably seen Joe's video that he just made yesterday, and that was about. Let me adjust this camera a little better. Keep screwing this thing up. There we go. It was brought up on the AMC show about what would be your top 5 kits to be released that are not released currently or ever. Because I think the general census of the hobby is everybody prefers the bodies in styrene. Styrene is more forgivable, easier to modify and work with, not as heavy and clunky, and with the resin bodies that are available, whether you have a printer or you're buying them, you have to either have some form of a buck and a vacuum machine or some way to make windows nicely, and that can be a whole other challenge. So a kit form would be better. Joe kind of twisted it up even more and threw a couple more monkey wrenches into the deal, which the one I totally agree with. Well, I agree with both monkey wrenches. The one is to try and do this affordably and have kits that stay in the $40 or less for the most part, because some of these, well, like the resin stuff, I mean, a full kit, you're talking 100 some bucks easily, if not more. But he decided to put a year range for the past 20 years or so. So, and the theory behind that is to try and lure in some of the younger generations to produce kits that are in their timeline, which I totally agree with. So I have a list of 5 that have never been done to my knowledge, but they're older, that I would love to see. They're older than me. But if I had to do 5 that are in the past 20 years, going with Joe's question, I'm going to have to also use my buddy Carl, my new buddy Carl that we met a couple weeks now. And his channel, this is his shout out, is Happy Pappy's Model Workshop. His name's Carl. Go over there. Let's blow his channel up. He's, I think, under 30 subs. Great guy. I think he's big into the Chrysler product stuff as well. So I gotta appreciate a man of my own heart. But his list, he did a video this morning answering Joe's question, and he went down a Dodge path, and I pretty much agree with everything but one car on there, and maybe a couple altercations. One of his picks was the Dodge Durango. Now, I don't care if you want to do it in Hellcat version or regular. The newer Dodge Durango would be a great asset. You could do that even with, the newer Chevy Blazers or the Yukons or any of that stuff. I think that platform would really be cool. I'm not sure what Ford has at this stage of the game. I don't think they still call them Explorers. I think they call them Edges or whatever. Those mid-tier things, I think guys could get real creative with kits like that. So I'm going to go with the Dodge Durango either way. The TRX, definitely. That pickup would be awesome. If I had to do the Challenger wide body, I'd strictly want that to be marketed as the Demon, not the Red Eye, just the Demon, because I think that car was very iconic when it was produced. It was the first wide body Challenger in the era, and then the most horsepower out of the bunch. So I would say market it that way, but then you can't forget the original Hellcat, which would be, you know, from the 2015 to roughly 2019 before the wide body stuff, and that is the regular Hellcat Challenger in that year range. Um, those cars are still some of the best. Nobody wants to, if you're looking at a drag race thing, the wide body thing, that's why the Demon 170, that's a whole nother, I could open up some can of worms on the Dodge stuff, let me tell you. But the regular one without the wide body. Now, to tool that, you could do tooling for both those kits out of one tool, and then also have provisions in the next tool that would sell the wide body fenders, so that you'd package those in with the Demon, but the same body, you would just be gluing the wide body fenders onto the regular Challenger Hellcat. And as far as like the motor and stuff, they've already got that tooled in that Charger, so you've already got the motor stuff. You would have to tool, the wheels are a little bit different on the original Hellcat versus the Demon. The Demon was its own unique wheel, and you could even market that thing where you do the little box that the Demon guys would order if they ordered the car, and they've got the skinny wheels, the jack, and some of the other components. That would be just a cool selling point to the kit. My fifth one, as far as the Dodge thing goes, Carl's fifth one was the new two-door Charger. Even though they made it a two-door and they put the turbocharged inline six in it, to me it's still a POS, and that's me saying this nicely. The things that I know how that thing became, and all the, let's just say, the political drama of what was going on with Dodge at the time, that car holds a very sore spot for me and a lot of hardcore Mopar people. And I don't think that that's necessarily what the kids would probably migrate to, if you're going to go off of what Joe's saying too. So I'm going to mix what Carl's number 5 was and what Joe's saying. And this is another car that I'm not happy with Dodge on either, because I have the original, is the Dart. I think the kids might like the Dart. I think the Dart kit would also be able to be modded out and done more like a JDM style tuner. You'd see a lot of creative builds. Up here in my part of the region, you see a lot of people screwing around with that new little Dart. That little Dart also was produced into a Pro Stock car for a short period of time as well. So the guys like myself could modify it and make it into a Pro Street or a Pro Stock car. So I'm going to take what Carl said from the Charger and implement the Dart, which is another car that I don't care for, but I think the youth might like that. So that's where I'm at on that. As far as the shop update, we're gonna sand the Nova and get that in clear. The humidity is down, yay. We're gonna get another coat of primer on the Roadrunner, and we're gonna clean the bench first because I got sanding dust all over, and then we're gonna move over to this bench here, and we're gonna wet sand the Nova, and then we're gonna get back on to some of these Acme builds as well. The other thing I thought I'd do in this video, I'll save the top 5, if you want to call them my holy grails, kits that should be produced, for another video. But a lot of people like the fact that I did the top 5, my top 5 of the special edition Revell kits. There's a few that I think people were thrown, but I'm going to show you my top 5 AMT kits that I liked. And a lot of people have always said, hey, I thought you were a big proponent for AMT. I got some comments about that, and I am. So I'll show you right now. So I have one of these built, minus the motors, because I got to find the motors or print them. And that is this Blazing Bison tractor. I liked building this as a youngster, and it was a lot of fun. I love my pulling stuff. I remember my dad and them would take us to the arena all the time to see the truck pulls and the monster trucks. So I love that kit there. This kit too, this is 1991. the Pro Street GTX, the 69 GTX. This was a great kit. This one here I have not built. This one here, which is kind of unique in a way, I bought this new and then opened it, and there's two bodies in it. So this one here was wrapped separately, and I didn't think about it until today, really. I remember this second body, and I opened this up, but I'm wondering if that one that's in the big bag might have blemishes, and they wrapped these up and they put replacement bodies in them. If there was a blemish on there, I don't know. If that's the case, that may be the case. If you've got this kit, or say the other kits that were in that era, and they have two bodies, let me know if that was something that they did. Maybe they caught there was some blemishes or whatever. I'll have to look at that. But good on AMT if that was the case. This one here, the Orange Blossom by AMT. This one here, I got lucky. A good friend of mine, Terry, was willing to part with this one, so I'm looking forward to build that thing as well. Now these last two are really special to me because both of these body styles I have in 1-to-1 form. Year off, but this kit I always loved. This is the 68 Roadrunner Pro Street. This one was done in 1990, so when they came out with this, that was when all the chassis tubbing, Carcraft magazine, all that stuff was just going crazy. Everybody was Pro Street and the heck out of everything. Very cool that AMT did a Roadrunner. A lot of people always say, well, why did they do the 68 versus the 69? Because of the rights that were being held at the time. Joe Hahn was still in business. So Joe Hahn still had the rights to the 69 Roadrunner kit, and AMT Earl went with the 68. So very cool. That's one of my favorite kits. I got one of those built over there. And then of course, last but not least, but the number one AMT kit is the 71 Duster. This thing has been around for a long time. It's had multiple different box arts. This here is actually the Walmart version with the checkerboard. Those are the Walmart versions. The original one had like a black border. There was a building in the background, grass. You can see where they photoshopped this out. Walmart wanted their own packaging. There was a yellow box art as well, where it was the actual model kit built, and they did pictures of it. That was big in the 90s. They did a lot of the actual kits for the box art. To me, I think the 1-to-1 cars or the drawings are better. And then now the current one would be the blue drawing box art. And I think the only thing they really changed with it is probably the decals are a little bit better, and the tires are a lot better. They got a much nicer tire in the new release kit. These decals were a little bit brittle even back when this kit here came out, which what the hell is this? 2001 is when this one is. The other one must have been like 98, 99, something like that, the original. But these decals, I had some that ripped pretty easy. The new ones seem to be better. So that's going to do it for me. That's my AMT top 5. Alright, well, that's going to be my take on this. Go check out Joe's video if you need a better clarification on what he's truly asking for. Remember, go check out my new buddy here, Happy Pappy's Model Workshop. Great guy, great channel. I think he's a fellow Mopar nut like myself. So Joe kind of covered a bunch of the brands. Me and Carl kind of fell down the rabbit hole and stayed true to the Mopar side of stuff. But I would love to see some of you hardcore Chevrolet guys come up with a list for the last 20. Some of you hardcore Ford guys come up with a list of Ford products. I think that'd be really, really cool. The Dodge thing, I'm just going to stay true to it for the most part. There's a lot of things that we could discuss on 1-to-1 stuff on some of the Dodge products, but we're gonna, we could go down a rabbit hole in that. It's gonna be interesting to see what they're gonna do here with the rumors of the Super Bee and the rumors of this 5.2 package. So it's gonna be interesting to say the least. Definitely thinking of heading out to Roadkill, which is next weekend, and just kind of observing that whole deal and see what it takes to be a content creator on the one-to-one side of stuff. But I'm hoping that if they do bring this Super Bee to life, that it's not another regurgitated new Charger package. So I really, sorry Carl, I really despise that car. So to me, if they're going to bring the Super Bee banner back, they better really do something really outstanding in the looks of that, and then some of the structural pieces underneath in order to hot rod that car. So a lot of people don't know on how the Challenger platform was built. The Challenger platform is separate from all of them for the most part. The 300s and the Chargers were pretty much the same platform because the four-door package. The Challenger is definitely a different package. The drag strip version, the wheelbase is correct, the deflection in the chassis, all that stuff, the ratings on it really, really well. So they need to make sure that if they're going to do a Super Bee, that it is focused off of the platform like what they did with the Challenger. Yeah, a lot of the struts and stuff like that will go cross-pollinate and brakes from the Charger and the Challenger and the 300s and even the Magnum wagon. I have a Magnum wagon one-to-one here as well. So the platforms are similar, but they need to do more of the Challenger platform on how that chassis was laid out so that you can put some of the aftermarket stuff if you're going to hot rod it and start racing them. So anyhow, I'm out of here. We'll see you on the next one. Peace out.